Hello everybody, welcome to SIMIOPROJECT. We are Team Singer. We consist of 3 persons. First, Nopatee Rukitna. The second, Nontasit WondsiriLert. And the third, Theepob Lertsasana. So as far as we know, the SUNRUN is the solar company in United States. And they want to establish new work branch in Oklahoma. So working on it. As far as they told us in the statement, scenario 1, we have the assumption. The first one, work hour is from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday, extra Saturday to finish the job. Truck speed is 70 miles per hour according to speed limit in Oklahoma, USA. Electrician ride along with the equipment truck since the beginning. A job with the SOW, you use the pair of the electrician. So, since the given data is showed that about the installation site location at the zip code of the city, we can't have the actual distance to destination, so we use the displacement between installation branch, warehouse, and the installation site. Third, we assume that number of employee they need integrated actual man day per job, and the standard installer mean actual man hour of the job. Our approach to the data is first we analyze the input. This one is we do it in the Microsoft Excel. As you can see the peak cumulative work approval is in October, as well as in 2017. In October is the peak and it double the demand as usual. This one is show us the location of the job site and the location of installation branch warehouse. As you can see, the installation branch warehouse is in the Oklahoma state, and mostly job site is in Oklahoma state too. But there is one outlier that we're working on the another state. Next one is input analysis. We determine about the job proportion categorized by size. As you can see, the medium-sized job had 47% of all jobs, and then the large size of the job, and the small. According to the standard that the competition have given us, the KPI of this company is customer satisfaction, which related to the time since they submit the installation permit to the installation finish, and then the cost per installation. So the next one, I will simplify the model structure to you. One is created work order from the actual timetable by source. The next is the government process to approve the work permit. The third one is the select the job to do by minimize the standard install divide by number of waiting days since the approval by the government to wait between the size of the job and the day in the queue. And the next one is how we choose the crew member. We choose the number of the crew member first by use the standard installer divide by 10 minus total driving hour minus the additional SOW or scope of work divide by number of the electrician. If the result is less than 1, it means 1 day work. If it is greater than 1, it's 2 day work. And there's a special case about the 4 day. The number of employee days is less than 4. That means we work it less than 1 day and we use the minimum crew. So the next one is about how we selection our worker. So we divide into 3 categories. First, installer like. The second is electrician like. The third is the leader like. So what is different between these 3? The first one. So installer is the main part of the construction crew. It's contained about 17 people, but still, as you see before, you can see that there is a large, and the medium is the major in the job part. So we think that installer might run out, so we pick the leader, then an electrician. As well, so with this concept, it's improvised into the next 2. So we choose the electrician contractor first and then choose electrician. So electrician can be installer and foreman as well. And then we relocate the destination node and we send the equipment truck alongside with the box truck and then back again when they finish the job. We have only 5 destination nodes because of we have been think and analyze a lot of data, and 5 is the total cost of the scenario, the result of the simulation. So what is represent the financial of this company? It divides into 3 categories. The first, active worker cost. The second, idle worker cost. And the third, transportation cost. Which is, you can see in this graph, in this chart. Idle worker cost is averaged at 1 million US dollar, while the active worker cost is 3 million US dollar. We consider it as 1/3 of the all. And you can see that installer is still the major part of all crew group. And this represents the utilization of each type of worker. Since the beginning, we have been installed the panel for 490,000. An average number per system is 51.8 work order, and cost per work order is 1,700 US dollar, which is very rare because the max is 6,000 and the min is only 200. And this one is about the average time. Average time is the time in this system since the beginning, the submission, the building permit to the finish of the job. So we divide into 2 things. First one is about approval by the government, which was used only 5.6 days. An average number in this system is 11 jobs. And another one is the SUNRUN construction system. Is used the 14 days, and average number in the system is 38 jobs. And the next one is about the transporter. We use our total mileage is 480 million kilometer, and total travel cost is only 12 million US dollar.
And now we see about the approval and worker selection. Those are the same as the first model, but there are some different points because of the worker don't have to travel in the work hour, so there are no total driving hour in the formula. So the number of crew is reduced by this formula. Okay, in this slide is illustrate about the worker cost, the idle cost, and the transportation cost. We can see that the proportion of all of worker cost is as same as to the first, but the important point is that the total cost is become larger. It's become about 3 million. Okay, this is about the utilization of worker. You can see many number of worker utilization. They are less, but they are become worse than the first scenario. This is about the work order and the transportation. We can see that the cost per work order is become 1,800, which is larger than the first scenario, and the cost of transport is also become about 600 million, which is the worst. And moreover, the time become 50, which is larger than the first scenario. The average time that SUNRUN constructed system is average about 120 jobs, which is the bad. Okay, So now we start to compare about scenario 1 and 2. We can see that the first scenario have a short waiting time, the higher utilization, and the smaller cost in transportation. So we can conclude that the scenario 1 is better than the scenario 2 in the utilization, in the time, in the cost. Okay, let's moving on to the next scenario. This scenario is about the suggestion that the SUNRUN have suggested. The company suggests that the pre-packing the kit of equipment, and we use the container to transport all the work to home site for 5 days before the installation starts. And moreover, the containers can contain 5 work at a time, but the container can only work for Monday through Friday. And the assumption that we choose is also same as to the first scenario. So we move to the next slide. Okay. Due to the container usage, so the worker doesn't have to come back to the installation branch. Thus, we assume that the crew team could be assigned for more than one job, and the container can send only the 5 days to the actual install day. In the next step is the approval, that is the same to the first model, so we don't focus on this. But the important point is in this slide, because the decision of the work is different. Okay, we have to consider how we can utilize the container. Firstly, due to the constraint that the 5 works per container and the work must start within 5 days. So I think that we should decide to transport equipment of all chosen works in 1 day and let the crew start installation in the following days within 5 days. Okay, so I start to explain about the logic of this step. The first step is the work choosing logic is to concern if the remaining worker is in the second day can serve the requirement of that work. If there are enough workers, the remaining workers in the second day is added, and that work is chosen to work in the second day. But if there are not enough workers, we do the same logic in the third day, fourth day, fifth day, respectively. Okay, we do this for 5 times. So after we have chosen 5 works, or we have searched the work 5 times, the container is sent to transport all chosen works. And this logic will be repeated on the day which the last chosen work starts to be worked. And the remaining workers is also reset to the full worker for do the logic again.